Hi everyone from SMMOC. I wanted to give you a quick rundown on IFTTT.com. We brought it up a few times during the meetings, and in this last meeting we also talked about it. Lisa brought up how she was having some issues with WordPress.com. I also told you about how you can tie into ZooTool.com, which we'll talk about at another time, but I want to give you a quick rundown on some of the tools that I use on IFTTT to make it work for me. So the most important thing to know is that IFTTT is just a connector. It takes something that another application does and does something with it and usually posts it to another application. So let me give you a quick rundown on the list I have here. So this one is if YouTube, then Tumblr. What that means is that if I post a YouTube to my personal video channel on YouTube, I also want it to be posted on Tumblr automatically. And I'll show you how that works. So if I go to my Tumblr, and we look down, there's a video, for example, that came automatically from YouTube. The moment I uploaded it to YouTube and I made it public, this post got created. I didn't have to do anything. How does that work? You can go and look at this post. And it's saying right here, if I upload a new video to YouTube, then create a video post on Tumblr. There's no directions because this is just for me, but basically it's going to take the URL from the YouTube video, the description of the YouTube video, and it's going to post it onto Tumblr. That's simple as that. Here's another one. Read it later. That's another app that I use. So that means that if I read it later and I mark something red, then I want it to go to buffer, which will eventually post it to Twitter. Here's another one. I'm tracking a hashtag on Twitter called 32social. So if that hashtag is mentioned on Twitter, then I want that tweet to be saved to my Evernote. Also Google Plus to Twitter. So if I post something to Google Plus, I want to announce it to Twitter. So every 15 minutes, IFTTT runs through this task, and in this case, it will find if I have a new post on Google Plus and share it on Twitter. And the list goes on and on and on. Here's, for example, another useful one. Let's see. So here it is. Two of my favorite groups, SMMOC or Social Media Fire. So if something gets mentioned with these two hashtags right here, I want that to be saved to Evernote, just so I can read it later or I can read it anytime without having to go through the hashtag, waiting for load times on the internet or anything. It just works. And the list goes on and on. If you're not sure how to use IFTTT, what you want to do is go and look for recipes on the top right corner, and these are popular recipes that other people have created. You can actually borrow them, and you can see what they do. You can see what's new, what's popular, or what's hot. And then, for example, here's one that's very popular. When Facebook profile picture changes, update Twitter profile picture too. So that means when you go in and change your Facebook profile picture, you can actually have Twitter update as well with that. You could just borrow that. If you click on this, you can create your task right here. At the bottom, you create a task, and that becomes your own. Very simple to use. There's tons of other stuff. It also deals with the weather. So, for example, if it's raining tomorrow, send me an email before, you can set it in the morning or whenever. That way you know how to dress up. The list goes on and on. You have 30 channels with 3,500 possibilities to work with. If you don't recognize some of these apps, that's okay, but it's also a good place to learn about these apps. Buffer helps you with Twitter. Craigslist is a marketplace to find and sell stuff. Date and time is just a parameter that you can tell IFTTT when it's 5:15 on a Friday, do this. Delicious is a bookmarking system. Digio is also a bookmarking system. Dropbox, as we know, is a file manager that lives on the cloud across all your computers or devices. Email is just traditional email. You can actually have IFTTT interact with your email. Evernote, as we know, is a note-keeping, bookmarking genius. Facebook, just facebook.com. You can also interact with your Facebook pages, regular RSS feeds. Found is a cool little discovery website that I don't use very much, but you could try it. There's also Flickr, Foursquare, Gmail, your Google Calendar, your Google Reader, Instagram, Instapaper, Last.fm, LinkedIn. You can have IFTTT make phone calls on certain responses. So for example, if you're trying to track a search on Craigslist and you're looking for a used desk for your office, you can have a channel from IFTTT give you a call on your cell phone or whatever number you want when somebody posts a desk on Craigslist that says used desk. You can also go to Pinterest, Posterous, Read It Later. Readability, I don't use very much. SMS, you can send a text to somebody or to yourself, and the list goes on. They're adding new services all the time, so I hope that was useful. That's just a quick introduction to IFTTT.com. Very, very useful. It's a simplified version of Yahoo Pipes, and it really automates the web for you. So I hope that you found it useful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channels. Tweet me at NotAGrouch, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.